What is up, everyone? Welcome to a Game Week 7 captaincy pick option. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Football Chatbox. So, as you may have seen in previous videos, for those who've been returning, you might kind of understand what we do here. We basically compare the teams based on expected goals against their expected goals conceded, and we're trying to match pairs and see which teams have the best attack going against probably the worst defense and try and find good captaincy options. Now, in the last game week, I suggested 3 picks. 2 of them returned, which was Antonio and Salah, and Ronaldo didn't return. Okay, and we favored Antonio to be the most, the best option, and I guess he kind of was the best option. But that game week was also very kind of like expected in terms of captaincies. This game week, however, it's a bit more harder. Now, compared to the last video, we've got a lot more color involved on this slide. And basically, to kind of sum what's going on in here, so we've got the home teams on the left, and we've got the away teams on the right. In terms of what's going on, we've basically added each team's current league position. Then we've got their minutes per expected goals, their minutes per expected goals conceded, and in the brackets, what you see within those columns is also their goals scored and their goals conceded. The same thing for the away teams as well. In terms of highlighted colors, green means they are in the top 4 out of the 20 teams for either minutes per expected goal or minutes per expected goal conceded. So if you were to take an example, the last match, Liverpool versus Manchester City have highlighted green in both their expected goals and expected goals conceded, which means they are the top 4. They're one of the top 4 teams in the league with the best attack and the best defense. Liverpool, only their expected goals is highlighted, which means they are the top 4 teams in the league for their best attack. In terms of red, now you can see there are 2 shades of red. The dark red is the teams with the worst stats. So the teams with either the worst expected goals or the worst expected goals conceded, that is the bottom 4 teams. So if you look at Tottenham, they're part of the bottom 4 for the worst expected goals and the worst expected goals conceded. In terms of lighter red, basically light red is teams from, I had to get my maths right, 12 to 16. So the 4 above, if that makes sense, 17, 18, 19, 20, yeah. So the 4 above the bottom 4. And the teams in light yellow are basically the 4 below the top 4, if that makes sense. So basically 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th is in yellow, and 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 is in light orange, I would say, in terms of their stats. So interestingly, a lot of us will be expecting Lukaku to be maybe a good captaincy option this week. But as you can see, Chelsea, in terms of expected goals and expected goals conceded, they're both in that second bottom set of teams. So they haven't really performed in terms of stats-wise, numbers-wise, not the best. Something to obviously consider is the fact that they've played Liverpool, City, and I think Tottenham and another tough team as well in the last 4 games. So these are the last 4 games as well, the fixtures, last 4 games. So because of that, their stats may be slightly affected, but so you have to also keep in mind they're going against the Southampton team, which are in the top 4 teams for defense. So I wouldn't say Lukaku is a good captaincy option, especially when you're going against a team with a really good defense in Southampton. So we're going to look into a few teams, and a few teams that I've highlighted and italicized in this table is Wolves, because they have a really good expected goals and they're going against one of the worst defenses in Newcastle. Crystal Palace, who have a decent attack, going against a pretty poor defense in Leicester. West Ham United, who have a decent attack, going against a decent defense in Brentford. those were the best I could highlight in here, because any other captaincy choice, if you would look at, I think City are probably the best. Like, they have a really good attack going against a decent defense in Liverpool. Not great defense, not a poor defense as well, but because of the magnitude of that game, we might not expect too many goals. United playing at home, top 4 attack, but going against a top 4 defense right now in Everton. I think maybe that could be the case because Cristiano Ronaldo has a really high expected goals. He could probably be a decent captaincy punt if anyone wants to go. But apart from that, it's actually really hard this game week to try and pick a captain. So let's look into some of the stats. My favorite would be Antonio from West Ham. He's priced right now at the time of recording at 7.9 million. He's got 3 starts, 2 goals, 1 assist, expected goals of 1.66, expected assist 0.82, and expected goal involvement of 2.48, with 13 shots inside the box and 8 chances created, with 2 of them being big chances that he's had as well. And also you can see his heat map. He's kind of involved to the left quite a bit and as well inside the box. And you're looking at Brentford's defensive stats right there. So Brentford do concede quite a number of their shots, as you can see, from the center inside the box. So Antonio could actually benefit from that. Brentford are a decent defensive team. As you can see, they've conceded only 9 big chances and they've had only 21 goal attempts in the box in the last 4 game weeks. The expected goal conceded rank is 7th, so which means they are the 7th best defense in the league. So Antonio, I think probably in terms of form and everything, he's probably going to be the best captaincy choice. Keep in mind, Brentford are a decent team, but I'm just thinking West Ham's attack is also pretty good. So yeah, that's the first captaincy option. Not filling us with confidence this game week, but that is it. In game week 2, I'm sorry, my second option. I wouldn't even say second option because I think second and third can kind of be altered. But it'll be Wolves with Jimenez. Now, Jimenez scored a goal, which is good to see. But the problem with that is Wolves really have, let's go back to the table, right? Wolves have a really good expected goals, but they've only scored 3 goals, as you can see, in the last 4. That's not great because there are teams like Chelsea who have a worse expected goals but have scored 7 goals compared to Wolves. So Wolves, you could expect them to be a bit of a overperformance in terms of expected goals, but not really delivering. But something that kind of needs to be considered is they're playing Newcastle, who are defensively one of the worst defenses in the league. They're the bottom 4 in terms of defenses. So you would assume that Wolves will convert a bit more. And what you can see Jimenez's heat map as well. You can see where he is located mostly. He's mostly just around that edge of the box, or in the center of the box. And you can see where Newcastle have also conceded stuff. Like they've conceded shots is also right around that center of the box where Jimenez likes to operate. So I think that's why I'm putting Jimenez, but you could probably look at another Wolves asset if you had, but Jimenez is probably the best option right now. He's had a goal. Let's hope he can capitalize on it. And Newcastle are really bad in terms of defense, so we'll see what happens in this game. Wolves should dominate the game, but yeah, we will see. And also, they are the home team, so it plays a part as well. So funnily enough, the teams I'm about to suggest, all 3 teams are home teams against away teams. So that's, if you take what you want from that as well. Now, in third is Crystal Palace. They are playing Leicester, who Leicester also defensively haven't been great. They have the 13th defense in the league with 60 goal attempts conceded, 31 in the box. So half of that in the box, and 21 big chances conceded over the last 4 game weeks. That's pretty bad. That's actually worse than Newcastle. Unless I haven't updated that for some reason. Let me just check that actually, because that looks really bad. No. Oh, wait. Yeah, I haven't updated that. My bad. I forgot to update that completely. So this should be actually it's even worse. Am I looking at the correct team? I am looking at the correct team. So this should have been 39 and big chances conceded were actually 6. Not too bad. Okay. But expected goals considered rank of 13th. Now, Zaha and Gallagher both like to operate on both sides of the wings. Both have a really high expected goal involvement of 3.04 for Zaha and 3.1 for Gallagher. Gallagher has 2 goals, 1 assist, and 2 fantasy assists as well in the last 4 game weeks. Zaha has 2 goals and 1 assist. Both, in terms of expected goals, are pretty high. Gallagher even more higher. And decent amount of chances and shots inside the box as well. As you can see, Gallagher also takes set pieces, so he's involved on that as well. And he's kind of like more involved a bit inside the box, where Zaha, on the other hand, likes to stay on that left and kind of dribble into the box. Whereas Gallagher, as you can see, he's kind of involved. He does get into the box when needed. And if you're looking at Leicester's defensive stats, you could probably say some of their biggest chances that they've kind of conceded have come from the left. So it could benefit Zaha, but they conceded, and in terms of number at least, there's quite a lot of small ones on the right. So it could benefit Gallagher as well, because Gallagher does like to come towards the center as well from his seat map. So those are the 2 Crystal Palace options that I would go. So just to recap, West Ham, Antonio, Wolves, Jimenez. I don't trust Traore, so probably not Traore, but Jimenez. Crystal Palace, it would be Zaha and Gallagher. So if you're looking to bring in Gallagher for this week as a transfer and maybe not even captain him, he could be actually a decent shout. And yeah, anyone outside this would probably be, I think, Ronaldo on the opening kickoff could actually be a decent punt, but Everton's defense is good. It's at least improved a bit over the last 4 game weeks. But okay, one thing to consider is Everton haven't played such strong opposition. So that is something also that could actually play a part. But then again, we said the same thing for Brentford, and we thought we thought Liverpool would just go to town, but Liverpool did score 3, but they also didn't win that game. So we'll see what happens. United are under pressure as well. So we don't know how much that will affect Ole and his tactics as well. So I think outside punt, I think Ronaldo or Lukaku could be shouts, but in terms of stats wise, I do favor Antonio as probably the best option. But yeah, I'm putting this table here for anyone else who wants to kind of see and try and figure out who they want to captain based off the numbers. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. That is the end of the video. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. Tomorrow we'll do our podcast live at 9:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'll have an event as well scheduled so that you can set a reminder on YouTube to know when we go live tomorrow for the podcast. So join us in the live chat. There are a few people who also join us. Come in the live chat and get involved. We'll answer your questions as well. And yeah, if you're new, if this video helped you, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. It helps the video to get found a bit more. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good day and a good week ahead. And let your arrows be green. Until then, this is Ryan signing off. See ya. Walking